So we have with us today Gaurav Rathod and Sujit Sinha, who are the founding members of DGS Chronos India, and who were also the captain and vice captain from the years 2012 to 2014. Hi Gaurav and hi Sujit.
Hey guys.
Hey guys, thanks for having us here.
It was our pleasure. So can you tell us a little bit about yourselves?
So, hi, I'm Gaurav Rathod. I was the first captain of DJs Chronos India. I was also suspension and steering department head. Currently, I'm working in 3D printing as a 3D printing algorithm engineer in a startup based in New York. And I did my master's from Virginia Tech. So, that's it for me.
Hi, I'm Sujit Sinha. I was the first vice captain and one of the founding members of DJs Chronos. I worked in the powertrain department back in the day, and now I'm still doing the same stuff for Eaton Cummins joint venture. So I'm a system engineer where I write requirements and rules for our powertrain product and just the boundaries definition. So yeah, and I did my master's from Michigan Tech. Go Huskies.
That was great to hear, guys. So, I mean, did you guys actually start off with, the entire team? Like, did you come up with the idea as such to like manufacture an all-terrain vehicle, or was it someone else?
So weird enough that both of us were not in the very first meeting, or it wasn't even a meeting. It was three guys sitting in the corner of a library and whispering shit to each other. So the thing was, there were in the beginning there were three people: Amok Patkar, Pranav Vartak, and
Nikhil Shetty.
So these three guys, Amok Patkar somehow found out about the competition called Baha SAE India, and he had this brilliant stroke of genius, I would say, to start a team. But we didn't have a SAE chapter to start with in our college, or a team, or a mechanical seniors batch. So we were the first batch of the college. There was nothing established before us, but these guys did have a good idea. So I was just loitering around in the library, just as every first year student does, trying to find friends. And so I was kind of hungry. So I saw these guys sitting in the corner and whispering to each other. I'm like, this has to be interesting. And they told me that they are discussing important matters. I'm like, come on. With you guys around, there's nothing important. But they were actually working on serious stuff. And they were trying to think through how to start a team, how to talk about the basics. So we all got to talking on what we need to do. Then we researched the basic requirements. And the first thing was we needed 60 people to start a SAE chapter. Luckily that year, mechanical had a strength of 60. And we also had some support from the production department, which at that point had 30 people in 1 year. And they had a full department by that point. So they had 4 years of engineers in the college. So that was the first hurdle that we had to cross in terms of building up the chapter. So we established a chapter. Now came the point of starting the team itself. Then we started looking at the money that we would need to, get this process under the way. So I think our initial budget was we thought of about 5 lakhs was a good starting point, which I know.
I think it was 2.5 lakhs in the beginning, as far as I remember. We said like, 2.5 lakhs would be enough.
Yeah. In the first year, it was about 2.5, 3 lakhs roughly. Yep. Correct. But again, I know that is chump change for current scheme. So really glad you guys have gotten further than when we left off. So so we decided that, okay, we need money. Who gets the money? Then we thought of departments, because that discussion gave rise to, okay, we need a marketing department that can bring in money from outside. To have a more structure. So we came up with, I think, 5 departments in the beginning: powertrain, chassis, suspension steering, brakes, and marketing. So marketing was an umbrella. Again,
like everyone contributes to it. Like, everyone who has contacts, who knows where they can get money from. Everyone is like, it was like more like a open department. And the other departments were like taken by someone else, and like everyone. I think Sujit, you took chassis first, right?
Yeah, I
then
think
what-
I was in chassis because we were all learning CAD at the same time. I'm like, this is a good
Yeah.
time to get
first
my hands
year, I
dirty.
think, yeah.
Yeah, this was in the
So-
second semester of our engineering. Just to let you guys know, we
Yeah.
had no clue how to make stuff. So yeah, I got into chassis. Amok Patkar was the head of transmissions. Gaurav was the head of suspension and steering at that point.
Yeah,
Dipesh
because luckily
was
no one took it. So
yeah. That was honestly that was the department
That was
that
like-
nobody wanted
yeah.
because they thought that's boring. You just
I
put some things
on the
together.
other hand, I found it very interesting, dude. Like it's like because I had
Yeah,
no
that-
clue
again,
what
that-
suspension was. Yeah.
Kudos to you that you did because
Yeah.
we would have been seriously screwed if nobody took that up. Dipesh was the head of brakes, and Hussein was our marketing head at that point.
Yeah.
So that's how it started, and then we prepared for our virtuals. And
So what happened in the virtuals? Like how did, considering your first year?
Yeah, so virtuals was a real it was like groundbreaking for us. Like this is when like reality hit us, like of what we are trying to do here. Like because before that we all like excited 19 or 20 years old who just like have this general idea, okay, we are. And when we were preparing for the first virtuals, we did each one, like we did make like a general report and everything, but a lot of things were not very well thought of, including
Okay. Gaurav, just one pause. So, just to give our listeners or whoever is listening who doesn't have an idea how Baha annual year or calendar year looks like. So, virtuals are usually mid-year, like third quarter beginning, so somewhere close to July end or August. Our semester ended in April, and that's when we had the team. So, we had about 3-4 months, and we thought that was enough. And yeah. That's
So like we did work a lot during those 3-4 months, and but there was also this thing that we did not, like, you don't know what you don't know, and that was exactly the big problem, because we thought we know what we are doing. Like we knew, okay, this is it, we are all set. We saw a bunch of reports, we pretty much made the chassis, it looked good, we had like good body works and everything, and it's done. And before even like going to the virtuals, I remember like we were so confident about it. Like, oh, we are getting it through. All of us, like our main focus was like presentation, and just when we were waiting for our virtual interview, every other team, they were discussing so many things, and we listened to them, and we are like, I don't think we have done that. Like, oh, what are they talking about? Like, we don't even know that, because we are like first year students. We don't know strength of materials, FEA, nothing. For our analysis, for our FEA analysis, we just use like SolidWorks, quick simulation. So the scope of our knowledge was like pretty small. And what virtuals did for us is just burst that bubble for us. Okay, like this is a big thing. It's not like a walk in a park that you can just like do it without like paying like like attention to it. Like you need like more time, you need more knowledge, you need more structure. So during a virtual interview, which went really bad.
bad is an understatement to describe that.
Yeah, it was. I mean, like I don't know even how to describe it. But like at one point in our virtuals, what happened was the judges were like, "So, tell us about you guys. Like, which year you guys are in?" And we're like, "First year, first year, first year, first year, first year," and that pretty much convinced the judges that we are not ready, and then the judges convinced us that we are not ready, and that was.
But even in that criticism, there were almost every judge was appreciative of the fact that even first year students
it
had
was
the
not
idea of
criticism
doing
at
that.
all. Like it was not criticism at all. It was just like, it was like the truth. Like this is what it is. Like you need to know about this stuff. Like you need to know about DFMEA. You need to know about FEA.
We did have a DFMEA in the first year. One of the line items in the DFMEA was we could break the drive shaft, which is absurd.
Yeah, it's like, oh, we can break the drive shaft. Yeah, we can do this, we can do that. So our objective is to not do that. How will you not do that? That was a big question mark.
Yeah.
And I think that's when the virtuals hit us, and we got, but obviously we got, we were not allowed to go past virtuals, and this is where things get really serious for us, for all of us. And that's how we started with the first team.
Okay. So once you were back from, the hard hitting virtuals, you guys started, I think, manufacturing the first ever car, right?
No. So that it didn't go down that smoothly for us. So the thing was, as Gaurav said, the first ever virtuals, which was in I think 2012 that we participated in, was an eye opener. The first ever hint of it was when we were in the train going to Bangalore, and we met other teams, and one of the teams were actually going through the rule book and learning it by heart. I'm like, do we need to do that? Isn't that that's a cheat sheet, dude? I should have that in my exam. Why would you ask me questions that you've already written down? So yeah, that was a waking point. But again, because we didn't clear virtuals, we didn't make our first car that year. So the big shift came after virtuals in the structure of the team and even the membership of the team.
Why did you all have the motivation to go?
It was ego, to be very honest. My ego was extremely hurt, and so was Gaurav's and people who stuck around. It was that awakening call that, when your father yells at you and tells you that you are the most useless piece of person on this planet. And then you suddenly have that epiphany. All right, no, bro, wait, I got more. So that was the moment for us where it struck us. No, we can't give up now, because if we do this, this will just keep happening. We just keep, rolling. We just keep rolling to one thing to another and just keep failing at it. So we're like,
and
we are going to complete this.
Also, there was this thing, I think everyone who stuck around after that, they wanted to get something out of engineering. Like, everyone was like, okay, you know what, we want to get this thing done, because that's what engineering is all about, right? Like, there's theory, but there's also like practical. And then everyone was like, okay, we need to get this thing done. Like, we need to at least have something to show for once we are done with like engineering. And that seriousness like really came through, like, because the moment we came from virtuals, there was no full stop, there was no break. I don't remember it being that way. It was just like, okay, form a new team, because a lot of people left. Who's gonna do what? Structure, discipline. Everyone was like, okay, if you want this department, you need to learn about this.
Yeah. So even the team leads in the very first virtual, some of them dropped out. So there were holes in our management structure as well. So I took up powertrain because I really loved it. I'm like, this is something interesting to do. So Gharal took up chassis because, again, in the first virtuals, he was the guy who was presenting the FEA report to the panel. And they really battered him for his report. And again, no fault of his own. Basic questions like, okay, what was the element size? How do you create a matrix? How did you get through the forces? How did you deduce this, basic analysis? And how do you make it work in an engineering setting? So he was the one who was under the pressure. Even if I was leading chassis, I took a back step. He was the one who actually did stuff. So it was only natural for him to go ahead and get into chassis.
And he worked on a lot on APDL in the first year. I remember, like, we used to go to the 5th floor lab, and Raju sir,
Raj Narayan sir. Raj Narayan sir was the guy. So there were, I think, 2 or 3 people in our department by that point. Venkatesh sir, Raj Narayan sir, and I'm forgetting somebody.
Irfan sir, and there was another Raju sir, like we used to call him Raju sir.
Yeah.
But he was like originally from production department who was helping out mechanical department.
Yeah, and these guys were material. Yeah, the professor he's talking about, he was the materials expert. I think he was doing his doctorate in material sciences.
Materials, yeah. So he was like APDL, and like I remember like Gharal spending a lot of time on 5th floor lab with Raju sir to get this thing done. So. So
Gharal really took that up as a challenge. Gaurav was the suspension head. There were also a few questions based on suspension, based on geometry, center of gravity, rolling centers, and all of that. Again, we were all offended. It was not an offense that the judges gave to us. It was just, how stupid can I be? Why the hell did I end up here? This is not my place right now. So we took it up as a challenge, and we were like, okay, we need a solid structure. And with people leaving the team, it felt like, this is very fickle. if you don't have people who actually want to do this in the long run, as in terms of their career, I'm not talking about making cars, I'm talking about engineering. People who are not passionate about engineering, or even people who have different views of what engineering can do for them, maybe they are not the best, they're not the best suited for our team. What we really wanted was, even if you don't like engineering to start with, or parts of it, or you have no idea of what you want to do after engineering, we wanted that you can do something. That's about it. We wanted that passion and that attitude. Okay, if you give me some work, I'll figure it out, because again, nobody knows what to do. But if you give me something, I'll figure it out and I'll come back with a solution. So we needed those people. So we started looking for new people. But around that time, my batch or our batch was also coming up with another team called DJs Racing. And you guys know about that. So we did not have the luxury or freedom of getting more people from our batch, because the resources were now split. Now the race was on to get the juniors, because these are the guys who are actually going to take the battle forward.
We wanted this thing to stick around, and we are like really glad that it did stick around. So
yeah, it's brilliant talking to people who are working on this right now, and it just feels like a full circle that things still are pretty much the same. You guys have the same passion, you guys have the same grit, and the car speaks for itself. So I don't think we need to talk anything about that.
Results are out there, so you guys have already proved it. So we don't need to say anything.
Yeah, it's mind blowing what you guys have achieved in the last few years.
So so basically, how, coming back to the question, like we found out the team, like we recruited new juniors, we took like tests for juniors, and we sorted out like the people who got through. And actually the tests went really good. Like first year, like we had like good response, better than what we actually expected. And the people who came through, the best part about them that I would say is like they cared about the car as much as we did, and that was the biggest thing that we were looking for.
Yep.
Like
again, knowledge was not a factor to get you into the
exactly
game.
Because all of us were learning together. Like even I remember when I was like heading the suspension department, it was me and we juniors, we used to read books together, we used to discuss together, and we were like trying to learn it together.
What we were doing was we were just trying to understand what are the basic potholes or snags that we are going to see while we start making a car, or while we start designing things. So that was a period of learning for all of us. As Gaurav said that we were all reading books. I think the first few books that we read was Millikan and Millikan, RCVD, then Race to Win, Carroll Smith. We were all finding stuff that we could learn. And again, this was not the part of our syllabus in the second year, right? It started clicking. So one of the comments that the judges gave us in the first virtuals itself was, okay, you guys need to learn the basics of mechanical engineering.
Right.
And when we went through the first 4 semesters, we actually picked up a lot of things where we were like, okay, this actually makes sense. I don't have to reinvent the wheel in terms of geometry or in terms of physics of the lines, because again, not enough time.
Yeah.
So
I think
that was
second virtuals was really good. Comparatively, it was. I think there was a real growth in second virtuals, and we got selected. So.
Second virtuals we were far more prepared. What I remember from that virtuals was we did have a design. We had a design that was ready to be manufactured. We had a design which was actually validated in whatever way we can. So again, remember, we didn't have a lot of softwares, or we didn't have a lot of ways to validate our design. So most of our validation was on paper validation in terms of strength of factor of safety, the strength of the parts that we're going to put in. For Gaurav, it was the geometry of the suspension system. For me, it was, how am I going to align my transmission and pair it up with a Briggs & Stratton 10 HP engine. So and all of those things started coming in together. We actually read the rule book again. Actually read it. And then, we got a lot of pointers about how to make a chassis as well. That's how Gharal, that was the first step for Gharal. If somebody screwed up, they need to understand that the gravity of their screw up. Right. But they also need to have the motivation to fix it. Right. Because we have nobody else to fix it.
So you're qualified for the competition in the second virtuals?
Yeah, luckily we did.
We did, and I think we were very well prepared. I don't remember a lot of criticism or a lot of I remember like the judges were much more confident that we can do this time.
Yeah, and the memory of the first virtuals were etched in our psyche.
Psyche,
So we knew what the potholes were. We knew what the questions were.
Yeah.
So we created before the second virtuals, the night before the second virtuals.
I remember that.
That gets excited.
Yeah.
We are sitting in a hotel in Yalanka, Bangalore. 10 guys. We have, tomorrow is the virtuals, the big day that we all prepared for. And there were only 4 people who were allowed to present their stuff.
So I think it was
five, right? So yeah, so all of us were going. It was me, Diptesh, Gaurav, Hussain, and Gharal. We were all going.
Yeah.
And it was
brutal. Like I
brutal.
remember being grilled so much by these guys. And
Hussain was the guy who prepared us.
Hussain
was the guy.
Yeah, he's like, dude, you guys don't know how to present. Yeah. You guys are doing this wrong. You guys are doing that.
So every time we had, say, for example, okay, we are from DJs Chronos and we are making this car. And if I say, oh, he's like, start again.
Yeah.
There's no O's in this presentation. It has to be spotless and airtight. When you start speaking, you only stop speaking when you need air or when you're done.
See, marketing guy being a marketing guy and technical guys being like,
So that night was brutal. We stayed up, I think, till 4. And, all the team, there were only 11 of us who actually went to the virtuals because, some people didn't want to or their parents didn't allow. So there were 11 of us. And all the juniors who were not actually in the presentation were also there for mental support. And I remember one guy.
I think they learned a lot about, I think it prepared them also for the next show.
They got a hang of it.
It became like I don't know how it works right now, but like it just became like a cycle and like a prep school, like okay, this is what to expect and this is
like a rite of passage. Like you need to go through this before you can actually do and go and do this. We had our rejection. They need to understand what happens.
Where did you guys, end up, actually building the vehicle then, And I mean, you guys mentioned quite a lot of people, people leaving and people joining in and faculty members helping you guys. I just personally want to know that were there people outside, the faculty members or students who actually contributed to the entire process?
I mean, there were a lot of people. I would like to mention the watchmen of our college. Like they were for some reason we had during our manufacturing we formed a very good bond with them, and they were the ones they helped us a lot. They were the ones who were letting us in the college without permission. They were the ones who were shielding us from but obviously we're breaking a little bit of rules here and there, which at that point we needed to if we wanted to finish this project. And they were the ones who shielded us. They were the ones who sort of like it was like a brotherhood, and they were trying to.
So there were levels of the college that helped us through. From the very top was the management.
On the very top, everyone tried to help us. Even principal sir, we made some pretty hasty decisions, and we were also there were some things that we did not do very safely, and that was a concern even for management. But everyone, including the principal sir, the HOD sir, they tried to shield us, and they were like, okay, bache hai, thodi mistakes chalti hain. And that helped us a lot. Even professors from workshop, they were like, okay, if we were doing something wrong, okay, you need to do it this way, you need to do it that way.
Everyone chipped in. It was a college effort.
Where were you guys manufacturing it?
No. So we were manufacturing the car in the college itself, and I think our car is the only car that was manufactured in the college. And there was I remember this, there was a very small, because at that point workshop was under construction.
The college was going under, the entire college was going under renovation. And
so we don't
that year, workshop was the thing that was being renovated. So there was
renovated, and we wanted the workshop, we wanted to be close to that welding machine because we did not have our own welding machine. So I remember we were manufacturing it in one corner of a workshop, just where the welding machine was. And during the day, all the other kids, like first year kids, will come and they'll do their welding stuff, and we'll just wait for them to leave. Like we want them to leave so that we can use that machine. And so it was like we just had like this big, thick plate of like iron or cast iron. I don't remember what that.
It was a sheet metal that we
Sheet
used
metal.
as a fixture.
And we just like laid it down in the workshop and
Yeah.
started working there because space constraint was a real thing.
And there weren't any accidents as such, you know?
Well, there were a few
Yeah.
mishaps. I wouldn't go as far as accidents. But there were a few. I mean, obviously, as you know, as we all know, when you make something, you also break a few things. Luckily, we didn't break people or bones. But there were a few things that
Actually, all the fingers were intact for all the people. So that is like
everybody came out with all their limbs and fingers just saying.
Yeah.
Nobody was seriously hurt in the process.
Yeah.
But like we broke a grinder wheel or a cutting tool or hacksaws, or even while welding, we would just blow a hole through the entire piece.
After you guys manufactured the thing, so like, did any accidents happen with the car as such? Like, did you break it, smash it, or anything like that?
Again, I would not say accidents. I would say
Mishaps.
milestones. But
Yeah. So I think other than like we had like a few small things here and there, but nothing really major. But one thing, like once I remember, like we almost were out of the competition because when we were going to when we were taking a car for the first testing, our rear knuckle got completely fucked up.
Oh, all right. Let me back up. Why that happened? That was not because of our mistake. It was a mistake, but not a design mistake. All right.
Yeah.
So what had happened 2 weeks before? They were all steel parts, right? So our pipes were kind of getting, a little bit of rust on them because we just left them overnight. And so we're like, okay, let's grease up our metal parts so that they don't rust and they last. So in this entire process, the way our knuckle was made, it had a centering bushing or a bearing, and then the knuckle, and this bearing is pressed into it.
Two bearings on either side, and in the center there was the bush.
Yeah, the bushing was pressed into the knuckle. Okay,
Yeah.
so now I don't know who did this. I hope to God if I find him, I want to give him a piece of my mind. But one of us, and we have different names flying around in the team. I don't know who. One of us greased up that bushing as well and packed it out. But yeah, it was greased up and then it was pressed into the knuckle. So we did design for the tolerance fit, but not the hydrostatic forces around the bushing when you have grease around it, which makes it difficult and different, to say the least. So it could now wobble or have a path to basically a different load path. So now we were towing our car and taking it to a ground, as he said. And that ground was about 3 kilometers away.
और अपना गाड़ी अमर के इधर ही टूट गया
हाँ, और अपना गाड़ी अमर पे ही टूट गया. 100 मीटर चला और लग गया. वो बुशिंग क्राउन हो गया.
And basically what हमें realize नहीं हुआ. The only what happened is like the tire is just not moving. The rear right tire is just like stuck. Like it's not moving. So अगर हम लोग towing अभी continue करते हैं तो basically टायर पूरा घिस जाता, सब treads घिस जाते, जो हमें नहीं करना था क्योंकि नए टायर्स थे और हमें मालूम नहीं एग्जैक्टली हुआ क्या है, कहाँ पे प्रॉब्लम आया है और क्यों घूमने क्यों नहीं रहा टायर. सो वहाँ पे मुझे याद है मैं और 2-3 जूनियर्स वहीं पे रास्ते पे अमर के बाहर बैठ गए गाड़ी के साथ टायर के इधर और हम लोग खोल खाल के देख रहे क्या चाल रहा है.
सब अपना दिमाग लगा रहे हैं, सब प्राइमर से खींच के निकल रहे हैं. मैं बस टोइंग गाड़ी पे बैठा हूँ, मैं बात कर रहा हूँ, मैं देख रहा हूँ ट्रैफिक और ये सब रास्ते पे चल रहे हैं.
कॉलेज जाना बेटर डिसीजन होता.
हाँ,
वहाँ पे लाइट्स थी और वहाँ पे अपना टूल्स थे, बट नहीं हम गए वर्सोवा बीच. नहीं वर्सोवा
क्योंकि टोइंग वाले को पैसे तो दे दिए थे, यूज तो करना था.
एग्जैक्टली. तो हम वहाँ गए, हमने लगा कि वहाँ पे थोड़ा बहुत छोटा मोटा होगा, फिगर आउट कर लेंगे. और कट सीन हम लोग वहाँ पहुंचे कुछ 8-9 बजे और हम मेरे ख्याल से 1-2 बजे तक तो हमसे सिर्फ उस नकल को फ्री करने का कोशिश कर रहे थे. बेरिंग पूरा
हाँ,
बुश नकल के अंदर ऐसे घूम के ऐसे अंदर उसने ग्रुप बना दिया और वो अटक गया वहां पे। हमारे पास प्रेस फिट नहीं, कुछ नहीं, कुछ लोग सब लोग अलग अलग ट्राई कर रहे हैं, कोई लकड़े के पीस से ठोक रहा है, कोई हथौड़े से ठोक रहा है, एंड नकल्स हमारे कस्टम मेड थे और हमारे वो सीएनसी पे बनाने थे, तो लाइक वी आर वेरी टेंस्ड कि लाइक व्हाट विल हैपन नाउ, लाइक हम लोग के पास नकल नहीं है, अगर ये नकल अभी कंप्लीटली फक्ड अप हो गया है, व्हाट विल वी डू? Finally, somehow we managed to got the bushing out, but the knuckle was completely gone at that point, and that was the scary part. Like,
oh yeah. So there was another junior from DJS Racing ka team who used to live nearby.
so he helped us at that point. Like he was getting tools from his house.
Yeah, he was getting a hammer. He was getting a
Yeah.
Basically a round thing to basically hammer it out. There was a funny thing. There was a funny thing that happened.
Funny thing, but it was also like underlyingly, it was like stressful. Thankfully, MK ने हमें वापस नए नकल्स बना के दी.
Shout out to MK.
Shout out to MK.
वो नहीं होते तो नहीं बनता भाई.
तो गाड़ी नहीं जाता था आगे.
वो रात को ना एक फनी थिंग हुआ था कि हम लोग जब मैलेट से मार के निकाल रहे थे ना,
तो क्या किया था, मैलेट मेटल पीस पे रखा था सो दैट मेटल पीस पे डायरेक्ट हैमर नहीं जाए और मेटल टू मेटल कांटेक्ट होके उसको डैमेज ना हो, तो हम मैलेट पे मार रहे थे. अभी क्या हो रहा था, वो मेटल वाज ईटिंग इनटू द मैलेट, बट ऑब्वियस अभी आई डोंट वांट टू नेम द पर्सन, I don't want to name the person, but somebody switched the order. He put the metal piece on metal piece and started hitting with the mallet. And we are like, रुक जा, गलत है. Like, गलत क्यों है? ज़्यादा, specifically we can take it out. And we're like, सोच, रुक, सांस ले, सोच. It's been late. बाद 12:30 बज रहे, सब थक गए, भूख लगी है, सोच, क्या गलत है? It took him good 2 minutes and he's like, oh, like yes.
It's like a classic example from passion to desperation, like ये तो चाहिए ही निकलना ही चाहिए, and yeah, it was one night. It was like also, it was an intense night for everyone.
Yeah.
So like फिर finally गाड़ी मतलब बन ही गई and test मतलब first test हुआ and everything. So how did it feel to finally take a vehicle to a competition, and how did it go then?
देखो, गाड़ी ऐसे ही नहीं बनी. टीआई के दिन तक गाड़ी नहीं बनी थी और तब तक किसी ने गाड़ी चलाई भी नहीं थी.
टेस्टिंग के टीआई के बाद एक्चुअली सब टेस्टिंग वाला सब टीआई के बाद.
हाँ, तो सीन क्या था, गाड़ी फर्स्ट टाइम व्हील्स पे आई टीआई के एक रात पहले, मतलब द नाइट ऑफ टीआई. अभी हमारे पहले कैसा होता था कि टीआई इंस्पेक्टर कॉलेज में आता था टू सी द फैसिलिटी. सो देयर वाज अ रूल बैक देन दैट द कार हैज टू बी स्ट्रिक्टली मैन्युफैक्चर्ड यूजिंग the college facilities and tools and within the premises, basically. So they would,
so that people don't get it manufactured from someone else, like from professional.
Exactly. So there's no cheating involved in the process. So the TI inspector was supposed to come to our college, I think at 11 in the morning. The car was not ready. The brakes were yet to be bled. We were still to put our struts up, and the springs were still compressed in the lock. अब तक टायर ढंग से नहीं लगा, अब तक सिर्फ लगा है इंजन और पावर ट्रेन, और उसका शाफ्ट्स भी नहीं लगा है, वो सिर्फ ट्रांसमिशन लगा के छोड़ दिया है. अच्छा दिख रहा है, चालू किया तो वो चलता है थोड़ा सा, बट उसका गियर हैंडल कुछ नहीं लगा है, उसका वायर कनेक्टेड है, कुछ नहीं है. पब्लिक हाथ से बैठ के पीछे बैठ के गियर चेंज कर रहे हैं. अरे चल रहा है. अरे बट क्या फायदा, पेडल बॉक्स से कनेक्ट करो, गियर हैंडल से कनेक्ट करो.
और मुझे वो भी याद है कि जब हम लोग ये सब कर रहे थे, क्योंकि ऐसा नहीं था कि हमने वही रात काम चालू किया था कि हमें ऑन द टीआई आने वाला 2-3 दिन पहले. उसके 2-3 दिन पहले से हमेशा हम लोग ऑल नाइटर ही मारे, सभी लोग.
50 घंटा हम कॉलेज में थे.
हाँ, और
there was a 50-hour stretch.
Yeah, 50 hours or more. और उसके बाद बीच में तभी कॉलेज में ये भी चालू था, कॉलेज का फेस्ट टैलेंट शो, डीजेस गॉट टैलेंट. सो अभी लोग सोए हुए कुछ नहीं है, डीजेस गॉट टैलेंट चालू है, जो भी है वो, एंड एक एक करके टीम से लोग गायब हो रहे हैं. लाइक हम लोग किधर गए दिख ही नहीं रहा है, क्या चालू है. एंड फाइनली हम लोग भी उधर गए, एंड मैंने और सुजीत ने वी आल्सो एंडेड अप स्टेइंग देयर फॉर लाइक 1 or 2.
because it was good.
This was good, like which was like a relief, you know, like because everyone was like stressed out.
देखो ऑडिशन चल रहा था तो वो सस्ता इंडियन आइडल और सस्ता इंडियाज गॉट टैलेंट चल रहा था तो मजा आ रहा था और 2-3 लोग एक्चुअली मस्त नाच वाच रहे थे, बेली वेली डांसिंग कर रहे हैं, पब्लिक फुल दिनचैक नाच रहा है। हम लोग बोले कि चलो अच्छा है, फ्री में एंटरटेनमेंट। वैसे भी 3 दिन से कहीं कोई और इंसान देखा नहीं है, एक दूसरे की ग्रीस्ड अप शक्लें देख रहे हैं, सबका थोबड़ा देख के बोर हो गए, कुछ और देखते हैं। And then we came down and that was the night when I think nobody slept. Nobody slept.
Finally, yeah, everyone like just like that was the night like where I can define like we had like good teamwork. That night was like,
yeah, that was the night when car actually was made. That was the night when
that was the night, yeah.
So how did the TI actually go?
TI went well. I mean, like a car was still not running, and one of the condition for TI was to see the car running. But thanks to like HOD sir's hospitality, I think the TI inspector was very overwhelmed by the hospitality he received, and also we were like first year team, so he was like, okay, you know what, we'll give you this grace once. The car is almost about to get ready.
Yep.
It seems like it's on wheels. There are few things here and there that need to be fixed. He also gave us some tips regarding like our bolts and nuts also. Like before that, we were not using zip tie bolts, and that was the time like TI told us, okay, you need to use zip tie bolts, and that is when it switched everything.
Yeah, but we still had to send a video in. So the only leeway we got was, I think, about 24 hours. That okay, we need to send a running video of our car doing figure of 8. And again, the main leeway was mainly because we didn't have space to run the car inside the college. There isn't a space to do a figure of 8 or a 100-meter dash or even jumping up. There was a requirement that you need to jump up the ramp. So the inspector, again, HOD sir, those of you don't know what HOD sir and who HOD sir is, he is one of the most brilliant man managers I have ever come across. That guy can literally squeeze water out of a rock. That was a difficult situation, and he basically understood that we needed support, and he was right there. So the inspector, he convinced the inspector, he spoke to him that okay, we'll get through it. There's nothing wrong with it. We just need some space. We just need to tow it out. And we can't do it in the light of the day, right? Because there's traffic in Juhu. You can't tow out your car just willy-nilly in Juhu. So he's like, okay, you can do it in the evening. But the TI inspector won't stick around till 6 in the evening, right? He's got other colleges to go to. So he's like, okay, send us a video. And that was one of the biggest, I would say, boons or lifelines that we got. Right after the inspector left, we had to see if it's running or not after a night's worth of effort. So we put it down. Or college ka na entrance, abhi jahan sab marble or usually where you guys
where you guys test now, like not like the second, like on the side, not right in front of college, but on the side of college.
So it was sort of broken and all-terrain vehicle thing. So we put our car down there, and then again, let me stress over this point. गौरव के पास लाइसेंस नहीं था, उसको क्लच छोड़ने को नहीं आता था.
I don't think this story is absolutely necessary for that.
No, but it is.
Something like this. I drove the car. It was amazing. Everyone was happy. Everyone was dancing. There was a celebration.
अगर वो दिन पे कुछ भी टूटता था.
To drive the first car.
देख गलत कहा हुआ था मेरे साथ, क्योंकि उसने 3 बार ट्राई किया. अब बोला मेरे को करने दे, तेरे से नहीं हो रहा है ब्रो, हट. बोले नहीं वही चलाएगा. तो फाइनली नसीब से क्लच लग गया और गाड़ी आगे बढ़ी और पब्लिक रो रहा है, चिल्ला रहा है. और अगेन आई वाज चीटेड आउट ऑफ माय चांस.
But yeah, so
again on a serious note, no, that was a beautiful moment.
Yeah, I think another beautiful moment that at least for me was जब भी हम लोग वर्कशॉप में टेस्टिंग कर रहे थे, the Phantom Studio guys, they were like we really like this car और हमें चाहिए कि हम किसी एक वीडियो में इस कार को हम लोग दिखाएंगे.
Never came to fruition.
Yeah, but like still like it was just like we felt like proud. I was like yeah.
So you got the video in time for the TI?
Yeah, we did. The car was running, right? So now we had the car. I mean, we had some confidence that okay, we can now take it back. And
yeah.
And so, now going to the competition, like how was it done?
Scary.
Scary.
Really?
I would also say very exciting, very, very exciting.
Did you all do all
Uh,
the events?
Yeah, so I think
Unfortunately, not all of them, but all that was required to get into the final race. Okay, the major thing that happened was we transported our car on wheels. So once it got there, the car had drooped a little bit. So we had to fix those things.
yeah,
There were
because
a
the
few.
spring, yeah,
There were a few. Okay, another great thing that happened in Indore with our team was the hotel owners. जिस hotel में हम लोग रह रहे थे, their owners, we spoke to them and they really liked what we were doing and they were impressed. And these were, middle-aged man and an old guy and a really old Dadaji. They were so impressed with us. They're like, okay, you guys don't have a place to park your car और रास्ते पे रख नहीं सकते होटल के सामने, तो हमारे घर के गैराज में रखो. And we spent, we spent a good chunk of the
amount of
night,
time.
yeah, fixing the car over there, and they were so great with it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And coming to the event, like I think design, our apna design presentation went really well. I think it was, we had answers for everything. It was well thought of. Even though our car was the heaviest car there, but it was still like it passed all the criteria to be an all-time.
There was a reason why we called it the fat lady.
How much did you weigh?
I don't want to say.
415, 425, I think.
Yeah, 425, 430 kgs. Yeah.
Yeah.
With the driver in.
With the driver, but still it was like the heaviest car there, dude, because our point of view was like sturdy enough, like we should not break, and bigger the vehicle, better, like, because
And Diptesh put on some weight.
like Mad Max Fury level competition, bro.
And honestly, Diptesh put on the weight before we weighed the car. So
Yeah.
I mean, it's his fault as well. But I guess
How much did the other cars weigh?
about 250, 270.
250 was average, 275 I think, but the lightest was at that point 214
10.
or 210.
212 or 14 something.
Yeah,
Again,
COIP.
around that ballpark.
COIP was the lightest car at that point.
Shout out to COIP. Amazing
Yeah.
car. Beautiful
Yeah,
car.
I mean, like there was a time when our car broke down. It did break down during the main event race. We were just like, I think all of us were cheering for COIP, and that I remember the name of the driver, Suraj Alu or something.
Yeah, he was a professional rally driver. That guy
Professional
was.
rally driver. Yeah.
Yeah, that guy was. He had some balls.
Yeah, it was intense. So I think we cleared the virtual, like the design events. Design event was pretty good.
The actual on-site TI.
On-site TI was also. I don't remember we had a lot of problems. I think we were like.
No,
pretty
we
much
did.
there.
So the main problem was actually getting the car together. So what we did, again, that was a smart thing for a first-year team. We actually waited for the other teams to go ahead and see what were they being sent back for. So you have only 2 chances to go through a TI.
Right.
If you miss those 2 chances, you're out of the competition. So we
Pretty
didn't
good
want
time,
to. We didn't want to waste. I mean, we didn't want to waste a chance. We wanted to make sure everything is perfect before we go in. So people were getting rejected for small things as, there's no covering or a plastic shield on your visor. And again, these are small things that were not specifically called out in the rule book. They were there, but again, we didn't really pay attention to it since those didn't seem like grounds for disqualification. But these guys were serious because that does affect the safety of the driver. So we waited for inputs like these. Okay, there's not a lock nut over here, or you need to put some Loctite over here, or you need to screw this up. You need to have that. You need to get firstly preparing the driver to be in the right headspace. There was another criteria in the TI where the driver had to unhook himself and get out of the car in, I think, under 4 seconds.
Yeah, egress.
Yeah, egress. Yeah. So Diptesh was a big guy. I mean, not fat, but he was a tall dude. So getting his legs out of the car is still, again, we all know getting in a car is impossible. A Baja ATV is almost impossible if you're even slightly oversized in any direction. So yeah, it took some time, I mean like half a day or something to collect all of this information, make sure that we are on point, and then also prepare for other events like design events. And then we had a few presentations for cost events and just getting ourselves ready. And then we did go through the dreaded TI, and there were 3 stickers back then. I don't know if you guys still have those 3 stickers, but our goal was to get the 3 stickers and get a grid position. To get a grid position, you need to complete a 100-meter dash. To get 3 stickers, you need to go through basic TI, then you need to go through engine check, which happens at the very start, just to make sure that you haven't messed up your engine.
Tempered the engine.
Yeah, or played with the governor setting up any bit. A lot of teams did. We chose not to. But yeah, so those were the 2 stickers, and the third one was the figure of 8. If your car can do it at a specific speed, and the brakes, you have to complete these 2 events to get the third sticker. So as soon as we got our brakes, I think there was only half an hour left to get a grid position.
Yeah.
And then we had to rush because there was still a line. People were trying to better their time and they were trying to get a better grid position, and we just had to wait. And then I think we ended up in top 70 grid position. Were we that far apart? There were 110, 105 teams that finally went into the endurance.
Yeah, I mean,
So-
like, we were not, being the heaviest car, we were not the
Slowest.
So which
Yeah,
was-
that was the point I was trying to make.
Also,
So we
like,
did good.
one thing that I would like to emphasize is like for the overall event, it shaped our goals for next year. First of all, like changing goal was like कि भाई गाड़ी स्टडी बन सकता है, उसके लिए उसको भारी होना जरूरी नहीं है. Second, the overall dimension of the car has to go down. Like our car was like really big. It was comfortable, but it's not like it was not required. So our main emphasis became, first of all, like that we won't be the heaviest car there. In fact, we wanted to be one of the lightest car there. So absolute weight reduction was our primary goal. Reduce weight wherever you can. Smallest thing,
Even if it's 20 grams, get rid of it.
even if it's 20 grams, reduce it. And that became the big theme for second year. Second year was goal was like absolute weight reduction. We wanted to perform second year, not just like participate. And that changing the goal itself changed, I think, the mindset of our design methodology a lot. Even when the new juniors joined in, they started with this mindset that, okay, weight reduction is a must. We want to make it as efficient as possible. And which you could see from the results, from being the heaviest car to 4th lightest car in the entire competition second year.
No,
205
third. No. Second, sorry. The
What
light.
was the weight?
So again, they have better scales and better way to, weigh a car. The lightest car in that competition was Team Helios, I guess. They were ridiculously light. And then we came at 204, I guess.
205.
205. We were the second lightest car.
And that was like, yeah, we achieved that goal, man. Like this was like really exciting for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was quite.
But still, like we had another problems that year, man. Like that.
We had problems with brakes.
Yeah,
We did
and
have our
also,
issues.
also because our car did not reach Sujay.
So what happened this year was we decided, okay, we don't want to send our car on the wheels because we had some issues in the last year when we sent it on the wheels. It drew, things changed, and it's just a long way to take your car on the wheels. So we dismantled it, put it in a crate, packed it up, and shipped it. Abhi, that crate was supposed to go in a truck. Abhi, for some good reason, that truck driver decided to not, get to us. And there's a lot more detail to it, and you can ask Vishal Shanbhag and Sridhar Shenoy because they were actually intimately involved in that process to get the car here. But it didn't get there on time. It was, I think, 2 days late. Yeah, it came on the second day of the competition, and we just had one morning to clear the technical and the static events.
Yeah, and before that, like the night before that, our car was inside this crate, which we had to break.
Yeah, we had to pry open the crate.
Yeah, and like assemble it again, like work on it, and then get it to the competition. But the car itself was like really nice. I think I remember like jo TI wale the udhar, they were very impressed by it. Like I think
The weight itself was impressive, right? The weight itself was extremely impressive.
Definitely.
finish was so good. Like everything was.
It honestly, team ने इतना ज़्यादा मेहनत किया था, and as Gaurav mentioned, the main crux of the design process was weight elimination. And once it got there, we were like, let's make it pretty. So
Yeah.
So
So it was disappointing. So, but whatever happens.
But yeah, we did try to do the most of the things. We did do maneuverability that year. Our brakes didn't really, support us till the end. They were amazing. They were self-designed perforated brakes, perfect. It was just that we didn't have enough time to fix our bleeding issues for having our all the four tires lock up. That was the only thing. So we couldn't get a grid position, but happens.
That
Next year, you
bleeding
guys came out stronger.
Yep.
That bleeding issue is something that will always stay with Kronos, I think. Because it's still
Yeah.
an issue today.
Unless you figure out some new technology, I think that's always going to be there too.
So,
See, enough like maneuverability फिर जीते and kings बन गए एकदम.
exactly.
Yeah, I mean that was like from first year, like first year जब भी हम लोग attempt भी करने का try नहीं कर रहे थे. Second year अपना attempt अगर हो पाता तो मेरे ख्याल से हम लोग फिर भी काफी
अपन ने किया था, एक रन दिया था, but
uh,
वो count नहीं हुआ था towards event because we couldn't complete our static events.
starting events.
We did go over the track. We did have a good time. I'm not saying we had the best time that year, but that time wasn't considered in our final score.
And third year, like Kings of Manu, like that was like insane, dude. Like I was like, मुझे याद है मैं और सुरेश बात कर रहे थे. We were like so proud about it. Like oh fuck, like हम लोग कहाँ से कहाँ पहुँच गए.
Hard, dude.
Okay, so considering your 2 years in the team and the whole experience from the fat lady to the 212 or 3 kg car, what all did you all learn? Like, how was the experience? If you all had to sum up in a few words, the whole experience.
I think my experience was first of all it was humbling, and second like I really learned how to work with people, like because managing people was not something that you just like like you have to learn it. And that 2 years it helped me a lot to shape myself how to learn it. And third and very important thing that happened was I became much more confident in my skill because like इसके बाद भी जो challenges आए मेरे दिमाग में हमेशा वही होता था like okay हम लोग ने गाड़ी बना ली थी, हम लोग ने ये कर लिया था, and उस टाइम पे भी इतनी problems थी, we got through it. So अभी भी जो भी challenges आएंगे we'll get through it, and that is one of the best experience that I would say that I have learned from college.
Yeah, I think I have a similar answer for that as well. The only one thing that I honestly took for me was, okay, I've worked on transmission for 2 years. I need to learn more about the powertrain systems. And the 2 years really taught me how to work with people. And as Gaurav said, it was very humbling because again, we were by far not the best leaders, but there were things that worked and there were things that didn't. That, 10,000 foot view, when we actually see our time back in Kronos, there were mistakes that, and there were situations that are still similar in our lives right now, in our jobs or even in our personal life. We still take inspiration from that time. At least I specifically do. There are few moments that are so powerful that just stay with you.
Yep.
So, yep, that was one of the best experiences of my life.
All right. Guys, but I personally, I think everyone, in fact, who are listening this entire podcast, they want to know, what was the first team like? Who all were there? Who did what?
Okay,
all right. Shout out time, guys.
Shout out. Yeah, I'll like to, first of all, I'd like to give a shout out to all the department heads for the first time, including Sujay. And so like for Gharal was
Abhishek Gharal.
Yeah,
Abhishek Gharal.
We just call him Gharal. Abhishek Gharal for handling chassis, for management, Diptesh for brakes and management, Hussein for taking over marketing, and also he was a big part of management. I will also like to give a shout out to all the team members in my department, which was very close to me, who later became the vice captain. Umang, he was also in suspension. He was from prod department. Ronak, again from prod department. Utkarsh, who was involved in steering and manufacturing. Udit, who was also a part of suspension department, but later moved to manufacturing. And I think this is it for all the suspension and steering department guys, right? Yeah. So that you can.
Yeah, I'll continue with my team and then I'll move on to breaks and then the rest of the departments, marketing and manufacturing. So, okay, the first guy is Vishal Shanbhag, who again was the captain of the next year. So he was a huge part of my team and my just development process. And he took over a powertrain thing as well the very next year. So yeah, shout out to Vishal Shanbhag. Then comes Rishikesh, we call him Bucky. Rishikesh Kulkarni, again, a huge part of the powertrain department. And he also did the major heavy lifting when we were building our first car and the second car as well.
And he was also the driver, right? So.
Yeah, and he was our driver as well. He was the guy who got us through figure of 8 in the first year with the fat lady. He was the only one capable enough to do that. Yeah, so yeah, shout out to Bucky. Then there was, let me see who's left. Yash Rada. That guy, yeah, he is something. He's I think in IIM right now. Great guy, fun to work with. Again,
Very funny.
Yeah, very funny, unmistakably funny. Then let me move on to chassis. I think Gaurav, why don't you go for chassis?
Yeah, sure. For chassis department, other than Gharan, I think Vata was a big part of chassis department, even for first virtuals and a second car, like that first car basically. Vatsal was also in chassis, and also he was making like some parts for like basically CAD CAM. For manufacturing of the chassis itself, I would like to give a shout out to both our vendors, which they did an excellent job.
Yeah.
And they just learned welding on their own, and I don't know how they did it, but like,
they didn't have MIG welding or TIG welding that you guys have right now. They did it with an arc welder. So that was phenomenal what they did.
So Krishna, Cheda, and Ankit Shah were the primary welders. So shout out to them. And I think, yeah, so I think that's it for like chassis department. Like everyone else, everyone contributed, but these are the main players in chassis.
Yep. Another main guy in manufacturing was Madhav Udeshi. Great guy, extremely helpful. Even if you call him right now, he'll just, you can strike up a conversation with him. He's just lovable. And yeah, Krishma should know better. Yeah, again, they are dating. So yeah, amazing guy. Again, Kronos can do things for you. Again, pun intended. Apart from that, it was Aditya Lele. Again, part of the juniors team, did great work, supported us in every way he can, and again, I think he's in the United States working for one of the biggest companies. But yeah, shout out to Aditya Lele. Apart from that, I would like to move to brakes, which was Diptesh's department. Again, Diptesh was the point guy for brakes and for the first year, and he handled it beautifully. And under him, the few of the people that actually learned and grew with him was Manan Shah, the guy who made us chai. Apart from chai, he was really good at brakes as well.
And also logistics. He was very good at logistics.
Yep. For logistics, there was Ronak Mehta as well.
Ronak Mehta for logistics.
Yep. That guy.
Yeah.
Yep.
They're like proper Gujju Marwadi duo to get all your parts, to find out where to get everything.
And they'll keep you comfortable no matter what the circumstances. एक चाय बनाएगा, रौनक पाव भाजी लेके आता था, रात की 3 बजे वो पाव भाजी ढूंढ के लाता था.
I don't know how he used to find it.
और अच्छा पाव भाजी ढूंढ के लाता था.
तो वो बहुत क्रेजी था. बाद में ब्रेक्स में मंदार राव. He is in Germany right now doing big stuff, and yeah, he's still in the mechanical realm of things. So yeah, another big part of the team. And only there were a few broad people as well. One of them was
and also like Rushabh Sadiwala, dude. Rushabh Sadiwala in brakes.
Oh, how can I forget Rushabh Sadiwala?
The guy who made like rotors for the second year.
Yeah, he took over the department after Diptesh. Rushabh Sadiwala. That guy was phenomenal. The pace at which he learned things was just mind blowing, and his CAD skills were second to none in the team. Honestly.
And currently, he is a PhD candidate in Clemson University, right?
Yeah. He's a doctorate candidate, way smarter than I ever was. Yeah, he's Dr. Sadiwala now.
Yeah.
So, and I think we missed out Samita, who was
Like
together?
Samita, like moving to like manufacturing, like people who helped a lot in manufacturing was Samita. She's also in States, but I'm not sure what she's doing right now.
Meeta Malwankar.
Meeta Malwankar. Anirudh Shinoy, who was from Prod, he was also helping Hussein with marketing, and as well as he worked a lot for manufacturing. And I think that covers all of us, right? This was the first team.
Yeah, I think that's about it. I
So,
don't have
okay,
anymore.
a
Yep.
big shout out to Raj Narayan sir.
Yeah.
A big shout out to Raj Narayan sir.
He's seen it all. He's seen it all.
Yeah, he's seen it all. He has seen how the team was made. He's still a part of Kronos, which is great to see.
Yeah.
HOD sir, of course. Like HOD sir was a backbone for like shielding us. Like he helped us a lot. All the other professors also, they basically overlooked the mistakes we made, and which was great. Of course, like principal sir for helping us start this out and still continuing to support our team, and our team is like finally at the top now, and I'm just glad we had like everyone who helped us out so much.
Yeah. This was an amazing experience in DJ Sangvi, and I would not have it. If I have to do it over again, I would do it in DJ Sangvi.
Yeah.
So this was a brilliant time.
Great,
Also,
guys.
yeah. Also, I think I say for both of us when I say we guys are really proud of you,
Yeah.
and how and where the team has reached. Never in my dream I would have thought like we'll reach there so soon. I think we knew like we could reach to a very considerable position, but like so soon, that was like a big surprise to all of us, and I think kudos on that, man. Yep.
Yeah. So just one last word for everybody who is planning or thinking of joining DJ's Kronos. Do it.